your insight in terms of getting young people involved early in the process. I know from my own experience, I took some welding classes in high school, ended up going to the Ironworkers Apprenticeship School for 3 years. Then I went to work at a shipyard. They had a welding school as well. I became president of the Ironworkers Union. Of course, then I got my law degree and I became a politician. My wife says it's been one disappointment after another. But I would say that it has a tremendous influence getting young people involved early. It just, part of it is just letting kids know what is out there, and they have an opportunity to become skilled workers. Gives them some direction and some options. One of the successful programs that they've used in the building trades is the Helmets to Hard Hats program. So the building trades unions all across the country, AFL-CIO, work with the Building Trades Employers Association, and as men and women are transitioning out of active military duty, they're pulled right into the building trades. So, and we do an assessment. If they're already highly skilled enough, they'll just take them in as full journeymen and journeywomen members. And if they are in need of additional training, they'll plug them into their apprenticeship programs, sometimes as second-year or third-year apprentices, because they don't need that much training. But it's been a great program for our diversity goals, because you got a lot of women and people of color coming out of the military. Plugged them right into our unions, so that's been helpful there. And there's also the fact that many of our sons and daughters in uniform have deployed multiple times. And there's a stress level there and a difficulty and awkwardness transitioning back to civilian life. So we find that it's been very helpful that when they come into our organizations, they're accepted, they're supported, and it's a good there's a good vibe there, and everybody's so proud of their service. I think they feel very much accepted. So is there anything like that that the FAA and aviation employers are doing and maybe the Machinists Union? I know they're very active. They have a great program. Are they doing something similar to sort of reach out to our sons and daughters in uniform? I know there's there's an effort ongoing when people are reaching that point of transitioning out of the military. They have it on Armed Forces television. When you're over in Afghanistan or Iraq, you see it all the time. It's constant. But is there any active program going on with the FAA to try to facilitate that?
Well, first of all, thanks for the tip on the helmets to hard hats. And I think that's definitely something I'd like to reach out to our union partners to learn a little bit more about. I mean, I think there are a number of internship programs. I think there's work we're doing with DOD. We've talked about some of that already. I'm impressed by, this industry, I don't want to say is waking up, but you see a lot of innovation occurring now because there's an awareness that we actually have to do things that are creating pathways much earlier in people's careers and getting them hooked in.
Yeah.
So I think I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so Ms. Kraus, how much of this mismatch or the gap that we're seeing on the aviation mechanic side and technician side is a result of competition with some of the other disciplines? Because we've got, kids that have any type of acumen in engineering have so many choices now, right? Computer science, bioscience, chemical engineering, all of that. How much is that, some of these, maybe they're higher paying or more promising disciplines are pulling people away from the aviation industry?
I think it's an issue that's difficult to quantify, but definitely something we've heard from stakeholders as we spoke with them. They've talked about AMT schools, students in those schools having a highly sought-after skill set in other occupations that do have, can have better wages or better working conditions. So things like amusement parks, NASCAR, industrial heating. So those are other areas that they, might pursue. So that.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My time has expired. I yield back.
Thank you very much. I want to turn to now